Let's bring in Bill Carter. Bill's a well-known TV analyst, editor-at-large of The Late Nighter, and great to have you with us today, Bill. Thanks so much for taking time for us in Canada.
Well, thanks for having me.
I know you follow this very closely. Let me get your reaction to what's happened with Jimmy Kimmel off the air indefinitely.
Well, there's a couple of things. Obviously, the characterization of him saying something horrible about Charlie Kirk is 100% wrong. He didn't even say anything bad about Charlie Kirk. He mentioned the search for the shooter. This was before they had a lot of the evidence in public. And then he made a joke about Trump. And this was used as a pretext. The FCC, under Trump's leadership and probably orders, has been gunning for Jimmy Kimmel, who was very much under Trump's skin. And they came up with this idea that he said something sick, according to the Brendan, the FCC boss. And he obviously did not say that. He was obviously sort of on the line about it, but he certainly said nothing critical of Charlie Kirk. So what we have here is an effort by the government of the United States, which has never happened before, never happened, interfering with the business of television. They've had very few cases where they've suspended someone's broadcast license, but they're threatening it, and they have a group of stations, two groups of stations, who have dealings with the government right now and need the government to satisfy their request for expanding their holdings and stations. So they had a big incentive to do whatever the FCC said. And so they immediately said, okay, you want us to take Jimmy Kimmel off the air? We'll take him off the air. It does create a massive problem for ABC. And, you know, I'm not sure exactly how they're going to resolve it.
I mean, Kimmel is huge. We need to point that out in terms of late night comedy. You know, he did say something about, you know, the Make America Great Again movement and criticize them. But again, this debate, Bill, about the suppression of free speech, are you worried about what this signifies and arguably the capitulation of Disney?
Hugely worried. It's a huge worry. We don't do this in our country. We don't have the government tell people you got to get rid of someone or we'll interfere with your business. We don't have that. That's absolutely against every standard and value we have. The free speech, it comes down to the First Amendment. Our First Amendment, the first thing that was put in our Bill of Rights was freedom of speech. The first thing, because we had a king, and we didn't want a king to be telling us what we could say and not say. So here we have a president deciding what we can say and not say through his FCC commissioner, Brendan Carr is his name. Obviously, we are in a position here. Either we stand up, the country as a country, and say this is unacceptable. We can't have people doing this, or there's going to be more. This goes back to ABC conceding an earlier case where a newsman said something that Trump didn't like, and he sued them. And instead of fighting in court, ABC paid him $16 million to make it go away. But all you do when you do that is encourage more things like this. So if they wind up canceling Jimmy Kimmel over this, it's not going to be the end. There'll just be more of this and more of this. So it's a big moment in our country.
Hey, and Bill, I wonder whether you think, you know, ABC and Disney will spend the next couple of days, weeks trying to read the room, so to speak, you know, to see how this all plays out. Maybe Jimmy Kimmel comes back, maybe he doesn't. At the same time, we know Stephen Colbert's show was canceled. There's still Jimmy Fallon, Seth Meyers. Again, those two have had some interesting and critical things to say about the president. How does this play out?
Well, and note, when Trump wrote about this yesterday in a social message, he went after Fallon and Myers as well, saying NBC needs to go after them next. So I think all of this has to be part of whatever calculation is going on inside Disney, because if they just say we're going to capitulate and we're going to fire this guy, I think it sends a message to all of the creative community in Hollywood and all across our country that we are not going to stand by you. If you say anything controversial, anything that the president could criticize, we will run away. And I think that's really the question right here. So yes, I think they need to take a space. Maybe they have to not do a show for another week or so and decide what to do. My own feeling is, and believe me, I can't control what Disney's thinking, and it's a terrible position to be in. But I think they have to think very seriously about how do we keep him on the air, have him make some conciliatory statement, and basically hunker down and see if they can weather the storm. Because if they decide to capitulate and cancel Jimmy Kimmel, I just don't think they have a very good future for their business or any business in America that has any kind of political connection or commentary attached to it.
Hey, one last one, Bill. What kind of backlash, just building on what you said, do you think there will be for Disney and ABC over this?
There's backlash already. You see the unions that involve in television production. I'm hearing all kinds of comedians saying what they're going to do. I think the entire creative community in Hollywood is going to say, we don't. If Disney can't stand by us, we'll take our work elsewhere. Now, they're notorious for not being that brave. None of these people are that brave. But this is it's a watershed moment here. And I really think Disney has to really consider the downside of capitulating here. They may get away with it in the short term. They won't be attacked anymore by Trump or by their Trump MAGA people, but it may cost them very severely down the road.
Bill Carter joining us, one of the best-known TV analysts in the United States, editor-at-large at the Late Nighter. Hey, good to see you, Bill. Thanks so much for this. Great to have you part of our coverage today.
Anytime. Thanks.